If you have ongoing exposure to controlling people, it's a virtual certainty that you're going to experience blurry boundaries, which is why I've created the extensive online course called This Is Me, Establishing Boundaries with the Controllers in Your Life. There's a link below that will give you all of the details, and I hope that you would find it therapeutic. Exactly what is it that narcissists seem to want from you as you engage with them? There are a whole lot of answers to that question. They want your blind loyalty, that's for sure. They want you to acknowledge their superiority over you and anyone else who might show up. They are desperate to have your affirmation and your admiration. They want you to allow them to be the one that calls the shots, which is part of all of that control mentality that they operate with. And so basically what they want from you is for you to defer to them. Now they may not say it in these exact words, but basically they're saying, I need your obedience. I need you to do exactly as I say and live exactly as I deem to be appropriate. Now they may give you some leeway on certain kinds of things, but when it comes down to it, no, you need to filter things through me. Now this explains this mindset, why they insist on making your decisions for you. They don't want you to make your own decisions because they're afraid of what that might lead to. This explains why they will motivate you through forcefulness. They've got to get you to stay inside their grooves. This explains why they're almost completely unable or unwilling to hear your point of view or to receive input from you. It's like, nope, that's turned off. I'm not going to do that. This explains why they require you to bow to their better opinions. In addition, they want you to dislike the same people that they dislike or the same groups that they reject. They're unmoved by your frustrations because you see it's all about them getting their way. And if you're not pleased with that, that's just too bad, at least as far as they're concerned. Basically, they're going to communicate with you in such a way that says there are many duties, there are many obligations when you're in my presence. Get after it and let's do it. Bend toward me. Give me your obedience. Let me do the ultimate thinking around here. Now, when we put it in these kinds of terms, I know that that's just like fingernails against the chalkboard. It's like, who would do that? And the answer is a strongly narcissistic person. And so what if you decided, well, that strongly narcissistic person, despite what their preference might be, is not going to have the final word in my world. I'm not going to give them my blind obedience. That doesn't work for me. Now, let's keep in mind, I go back to when you were a little kid and you were taught that it's a good thing to obey your parents and obey your elders and the authorities in your life, obey your teachers, obey society's laws. I mean, all of that is fine and good, and kids need to learn that kind of thing. They need to know that there's a certain amount of coordination that's part of getting along well. So I'm not against any of that, okay? Cooperation is good, as is helpfulness and encouragement and coordination and affirmation and friendliness and being reliable. All of that is good. So I'm not talking about anything that's going to be nefarious here. But there's a major difference between having a sense of cooperation versus obedience. And by the way, let's take a look at that word cooperation. You have operation and co. Let's operate with each other. That's all that cooperation is. And I'm willing to do that. But when the narcissists approach you with this mindset that says, I need your obedience, what it comes down to is they want you to play the enabler role toward them. Your job is to make me look good. Your job is to tell me through your words or your actions that I'm the best. Your job is to just bend towards my superiority. And I'm hoping that you can decide if that's the case, then you're looking at a disobedient person. I'm not going to obey something that makes no sense to me. Now, there would be multiple things that I know that you might want to put words to. Now, you may not say these out loud, but you might want to say to a narcissist that would reflect this disobedient mindset towards their unnecessary control mandates. For example, you might wish to say something to the effect of, my personal integrity takes priority over me living according to your self-serving agenda. I know you don't understand that, but that's just far too important for me to let go of, my integrity. In addition, I feel no need to live in a subservient, submissive role to you. That's what you want. I believe in equality, and I want to live as one equal to another. And if that's not something that you're willing to go along with, I'm not obeying whatever it is that you're trying to peddle toward me. In addition, my appreciation for freedom is too essential to simply let go of or ignore. I'm not going to do that. You want me to not be free. You want me to lay down my privilege to choose for myself. That makes no sense. It cuts against the grain of how I was created, and I'm not going into that space that you want me to go into. It makes no sense for me to tolerate your problematic behaviors. You want me to obey and enable your dysfunctions? I don't think so. I have no need to cover for your rudeness. I have no need to cover for your irresponsibility. I have no need to cover for your general negativity. I won't obey when you tell me that that's what I have to do. You know, the bottom line is you can declare yourself as being correct and right in so many different kinds of things. I acknowledge that's the way you feel, but it doesn't always make sense to me. You're not the final arbitrator of right versus wrong. And when you try to put that onto me in such a way that goes contrary to who I am, I'm going to disobey. You want me to carry my share of the relationship's responsibility, and then you want me to carry your share of the relationship's responsibility too. You don't want it to be a two-way street. It's just a one-way street. I don't like that math. It doesn't work for me. I'm not going to go along with that. I have no reason to give up my uniqueness as you're wishing me to do. I like having my own separate opinions and preferences and priorities. Nothing wrong with that. I offer no excuse or defense for disobeying you when you come at me with a commanding and obligatory mindset. Being who I am is sufficient. Or maybe I can say it a little bit stronger than that. Being who I am is essential. I don't want to let go of that and be what your version of me says I'm supposed to be. Doesn't work that way. My character is good. My intentions are clean. When I make mistakes or when I err, I'll own it. So I know how to be an us, and I will do all that I can to be an appropriate us, but not at the expense of me losing myself and propping up and enabling you with this blind obedience. That's not what I do. See, my bottom line is this. I'm not very good at trying to be somebody that I'm not. And you have this agenda for who I'm supposed to be, but if it's not consistent with what I believe, I feel no need to bend in that direction. Your requirement for me to obey you is an insult that I refuse to accept. Won't go there. I respect mutuality. Now, if you want to come towards me and engage with me with a mutually regarding kind of way, I'll keep my options open. But if all you're wanting is that enabler's role, all you're wanting is for me to let go of who I am, what you're going to get is my respectful disobedience. I'm not going to be ugly about it, but what I am going to be is I'm going to be true to myself. Relationships are a two-way street, not one person mandating to another person that they have to defer. That just makes no sense. So if you continue to require me to be someone who's supposed to just lay down my free will and become a shell of myself, my response to that is, really? Really? Not going there. I hope that videos such as this give you some good food for thought. I'm hoping that you can learn that it is possible for you to survive when people come at you with that strong, narcissistic, condescending bent by you holding on to your own inner integrity and goodness and dignity. That's what we stand for here. If you've not already hit that subscribe button, I would encourage you to do so. And there's also a notification bell along with that. If you have a need for counseling, and I know that many times people who have situations like this are looking for therapy, and if that's something that you feel the need that you could make good use of, I would certainly encourage you to do that. We have an online sponsor that will take you to a sponsor that has online therapy that there's a link below that would take you to a whole team of people that could assist you in that, and you could choose someone that could work with you in that regard. In addition, we have my courses, my video courses, Free to Be, which is about setting boundaries with controllers, or This Is Me, establishing who you are despite the controllers. And then in addition, we have my books and other resources below. Obedience is good in the sense that you go along with things that are right and mutually gratifying, but that's really just coordination, cooperation. Their blind obedience, which says you have to be my enabler, is something that nobody should have to live under. I'm hoping that you can decide, I trust who I am, and if that's something that you can't appreciate, bottom line is I appreciate that. And so I'm going to live my life as a steady and a healthy individual, because that's what I require to take me to my place of peace.